And Zach Payne, how many weeks in a row have we been saying it? Zach Payne has just been showing speed week after week, trying to chase down that first Canandaigua win, and maybe it could come tonight. Look at Payne on the outside, top shelf where Mama hides the cookies, and Payne will take the lead. New race leader into turn number 3. The MP delivery, Page Material Management. Number 7Z, driver out of Stanley, came into the night third in the point standings. Through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Canandaigua, put your hands together. We've got a first-time winner. Payne across the line. Well, here on Land of Legends TV, this week's guest for our one-on-one interview is Zach Payne. And Zach, this is an interesting place to shoot from, Wall of Fame. Some pretty famous names here, and I think there's even a couple names here that you probably watched as a little kid coming here.
Of course, Steve Payne, Alan Johnson I seen on the wall. He was actually supposed to drive for us one race a couple of years ago. I think it was like 2015 or 2014, and it didn't end up happening, but I watched him. T. Vazarek, I remember him in the street stock when I was younger. So,
what are some of your earliest memories of coming here to the racetrack?
I would say when my dad was coming here with other drivers such as Danny Johnson. It really started then when we had a camper. We'd come here, park in the Midway, and my family would come. We'd hang out with the camper, watch the races, and Danny drove for us, so we'd watch him race, and we had a lot of success here racing with him.
What was that it when you were younger, you know, coming here watching Dad? Was that when your interest kind of struck that, you know, hey, this is something I think I might want to do someday?
I think so. I was probably 9 or 10 when I started coming here, maybe even younger, but about that age I started working on these modifieds and sportsman cars, so I think that's when it really struck my mind to I really wanted to do this.
Before you got in the sportsman car, did you race anything else, or was it right into the sportsman?
It was right into the sportsman.
What was that like?
It was different. It was a little scary at first, just getting a feel for racing and not having past experience. So it was a learning curve for the racing concept in general and learning the car.
How, from your experience, how was that for Dad? Because he's had so many, you know, guys that have raced in his car here and at other places, and I have to imagine that dynamic changed a little bit when all of a sudden it was, you know, his son in the car.
Right. So, you know, he had a lot of success in a big block with other drivers. So, of course, he wants to win, he wants to do good, but in the beginning he knew that I was new and we were just getting things rolling and learning the sportsman class because he didn't have a sportsman class or car before. So it was learning that, and then from there it just gotten better, and we've improved week after week, and now that I'm on to my 3rd year, all that stuff that we've done doing since day 1 or practice 1 here in 2019 has been adding up.
It certainly has been. I mean, we've talked about it on Land of Legends TV for the last couple weeks is, man, that 7Z's got speed. Man, he's got speed. He's right there. Then this past Saturday, man, you busted through the brick wall, got into victory lane. A huge win for you and your dad, the whole team. What was that experience like? You've had a few days to think about it now.
It was, at first I didn't know what to think. Just after going over the scales and then driving across the track to go out there, seeing everybody stand there, I could hear the crowd. I could hear you on the speaker, and rolling up to in front of the victory lane sign was pretty cool. And then just sitting there unbuckling my belt is just a different feeling, like just victory. And then climbing out and standing on the car, and it's just a totally different feeling I've never felt before.
The hug between you and Dad, man, that was pretty special. And everybody here at the track or watching at home, everybody kind of, you know, if they didn't know Zach Payne's story up to that point, it seemed like everybody kind of keyed in and said, okay, man, I get it. This really, really means a lot to these guys.
Oh, yeah, and with my dad, with all the knowledge and the help that he gives me and the support, I also had my crew guys come on. Alan and Nick are 2 new crew guys that came on. Nick has been around for 2 years, and Alan came on this year. And they've been a huge help to the team, just having extra hands in the shop or over in the pits, not having to worry about things I had to worry about before. So that's a huge help, of course, here, and then servicing the car weekly at the garage.
It always strikes me too is, you look across the pit area here at the track, and there's so many teams that have so many races under their belt, a lot of experience, but you just hit on something there. You can be one of the best in the division here, but if you don't have that support system of either family or crew guys, it's hard to make this thing go.
Right. So, one thing I didn't really have to worry about before, but that I did was I used to set tire pressures and torque wheels.
Okay.
So I would do that before I got in the car. And so that's eliminated that. Remembering if I had done that while I'm sitting in the car, sitting in staging, if I remember to torque the wheels. So that's just an example of something that I don't have to remember about anymore.
Kind of lets you focus in on what you've got to do. Now, talk about, this season. Is there one particular thing, or like you said earlier, is it kind of been a culmination of things? Like, I'm trying to pinpoint, like, you've been fast and consistent in the past, but for some reason, something seems like it's clicked this year. Is there one particular thing that seems to have clicked for you?
Well, I started racing Fridays at Brewerton, and then
Okay.
Saturdays here, and then Sundays at Wheatsport when they race. So going from a track like Brewerton to here, which are two totally opposite tracks, I think makes me a more versatile driver, more adapt to the track conditions. And the Wheatsport is even more different. You get there, the track's slick. It's not heavy locked down early like it is here, so that of course changes it.
Saturday night, when you start making your way through the field, you find a line that nobody else is running. And you said it in victory lane. Everybody was on the bottom. You find something up on the top, and you start making ground. That's got to be like, smile ear to ear underneath the helmet, going where somebody else isn't, and it's working and it's sticking for you.
Right, so in these sportsman cars, they're so close in speed that it's going to be hard to beat a guy off the bottom. You can't just motor him off the bottom of two. So you got to find a line where they aren't, and obviously be faster where they aren't. So where I was running the top of 1 and 2, it took me a lap, but it gave me a lot of momentum down the backstretch, which turns into speed. So I don't know how I figured it out. I just knew that I had to be where they weren't. And the first time I tried it, I thought I had found something, and then I kept at it, and I just kept working, so I kept going.
Yeah. Takes a little bit of bravery, because when you step out of line there, it's either going to go one or two ways, and fortunately for you the other night, boy, it certainly worked out. Let's talk about race day and during the week. A new feature that we've added here at the racetrack is the Land of Legends app. You're a younger guy, I'm sure, up on technology and things like that. How has the app kind of changed the experience for you in terms of, accessing information and things like that?
So early in the week, we tend to look at the schedule of events just for state of mind, seeing when we're up in the lineups, and then race day, the order of events is there again, and then typically early in the week after we race, I tend to check back on the points. It's just simple, easy at the bottom. You just click the tab and you can find anything that you want. It's super, user-friendly.
We don't like to use it for weather reports, but we've had to use that a few times this season. So for anybody that's watching here on Land of Legends TV, download that app. It's so easy to use. A lot of information, not just for racers, but fans as well. We're adding a feature this week for the 50/50 number, and that's in response to fans that, want better access to that kind of information. So we've got that added as well. I always love asking drivers, what their interests are outside of the track. And I certainly know you here from the racetrack, but I've known you in the past with RC car racing and stuff like that. What are some of your interests outside of the racetrack?
Yeah, so I RC car race with the Guerries in the winter in Dundee. That's something I took on probably 2 or 3 years ago that I have fun doing. I also like bowling. I was a bowler in high school. I played soccer in high school and college, so I go bowling with our photographer and friend Brian Walsh sometimes.
Oh, cool.
So I like to do that. They have a crazy 8 bowling Thursday night, so it's like $10. You go there for a couple hours and you bowl. So that's another.
Now in soccer, you were a goalie, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So a lot of action there. It's a different sport than auto racing, but a lot of action here on the track, a lot of action as a goalie. So that seems to add up pretty good.
Oh yeah. So I tend to tie everything together. So I wore gloves when I was a goalie. I'm wearing gloves now, so I'm still wearing gloves.
Yeah.
But just the the preparing and the want to and everything just translated from soccer to racing, and I just seems like everything that I've put together just transfers from sport to sport.
Race day, in terms of preparing for race day, any rituals in terms of pre-race meal, or are you one of those drivers that can't really eat at the racetrack until you're done? What is it for you?
Yeah, so I definitely don't eat once it gets close to racing, and I don't eat till I'm done. Just makes me sick, just with the nerves and everything going on. But after the races, I eat and chow. And
Go-to place after the races?
well, we were going to Pontillo's before COVID started, and they shut down the dining room. But my grandpa goes to a place called Mom Burgers in Geneva, and he gets subs for the whole crew and all of us, and we eat them after the races.
Was that the celebratory, what we did after the win, or did we do something different? And, one thing I didn't mention was your sister and your mom were out of town at a soccer tournament. So how did the family celebrate once everybody got back together?
Well, it was just, when we got home, we went right to bed, because me and my dad work Sundays, because our FedEx business is 7 days a week. So we work Sundays, so we got to get to bed, get as much sleep as we can. So we didn't really do much to celebrate. It was just after the races, it was kind of just settling in and giving everybody handshakes and hugs and thanking everybody that sent us messages after the race, that watched it or seen the results.
I'm sure those were plentiful.
They were.
That had to feel good. I mean, I saw a lot of drivers that were making posts and such, and for drivers here to have that respect for you as a driver or friend in the pit area, those things go a long way.
Oh yeah, it's nice being friendly with everybody. So on the racetrack, I tend to race people how I want to be raced, so that I don't have any enemies or have to leave the pit area, saying sorry to people. I like to stay clean with people, and so that there's no enemies. We're all just friends, and we come here to have fun and compete and go home.
So we knocked down a win. What's our goal for the rest of this year?
Well, I'd like a total of 5 wins this year. We're working towards it. This is my first one this year. But with racing 2 or 3 nights a week, we're racing more than the guys that are just racing here as a weekly basis. I wanted a total of 5 wins at the beginning of the year, so we got 1 down now. So that's just
4 more to go.
Yeah.
And with some of the races you've had in the past, man, you guys have been so close. I mean, I could count you guys, and you can't go back and change the past, but you potentially could have 3 sitting here. It's good that you have 1, and you've got a goal to reach for now. Good luck the rest of the way. Anybody else that you want to thank here that helps the effort?
My dad, MP Delivery, Page Material Management, Dan Titus, Bicknell Racing Products, and then all of our product sponsors like Sweet, Bulldog, Swift. They all help us out. And then Honeywell Auto Parts. And then my crew, Nicholas, Alan, they're at the shop all the time. And then my parents, my family. Recently, my other side of my family, I don't really see much, has been coming to the races. They found it's exciting, and so now they want to come every week. We've had an employee night here maybe about a month ago. The employees loved it. Some of the employees still come, so they're there to support me. My girlfriend, Rachel, I spend a lot of hours in the garage. It's almost like a full-time job. So
I was going to say, between, your full-time gig, the race car, busy guy, but, that the hours, that effort paid off on Saturday. We'll see if it pays off here going forward, man.
Let's hope.
All right. There's Zach Payne here on Land of Legends TV. Got a win already this season. Looking for 4 more before the season's out. We'll see if he can get it done here tonight.